Fox 5 News at 10 starts right now.
Black smoke, explosions, and the collapse of one of the busiest interstates in metro Atlanta.
A massive fire takes out a Midtown overpass on I-85. Now, there was chaos during the evening rush hour.
Billows of black smoke could be seen for miles as fiber optic cable fueled an inferno under the I-85 overpass near Piedmont Road. The fire started shortly before 6 o'clock tonight. It burned for about an hour before the structure gave way, collapsing in on itself and the roadway beneath.
Now, here's what we know right now. The FBI tells us this does not appear to be a criminal act, but the investigation is ongoing tonight. At this hour, we're monitoring road closures in and around Midtown, and we've just learned that DeKalb County schools are closed for tomorrow. Now, another school, Cristo Rey Jesuit High School, will also close tomorrow.
Atlanta Public Schools will operate on a normal schedule tomorrow, but officials are working on rerouting the buses, especially on the north side. There are still a lot of questions tonight about the cause of the fire and, of course, what this will mean for your morning commute and for commutes for weeks to come.
Now, our crews are covering all angles with Fox 5's George Franco at the Joint Task Force headquarters downtown.
Jacqueline Schultz and Denise Dillon are live at the scene, and Fox 5's Claire Sims is at the Capitol with reaction from the governor. Let's begin tonight with Jacqueline.
Well, good evening, guys. Frankly, standing here right now in the middle of Piedmont Road, it's eerie because there's no cars and it is so quiet compared to a couple hours ago when it was absolute chaos. Police were telling people to move back. There was smoke, there was flames, there were fire trucks coming through here. I'm going to step aside so you can see what's shut down right now. This is Piedmont at Lakeshore. They're blocking the bridge, collapsed up ahead. You can't see the bridge from here. Now, myself and other people heard earlier tonight what sounded like a rumbling. We thought maybe it's part of the fire, maybe a transformer. But then we all found out it was the bridge collapsing.
A loud boom, two of them.
You can hear it like in sections, like boom, boom.
Rumblings. People hear it and think it's the fire. Then people realize it's I-85 falling.
A loud boom. I thought it was a car fire.
That was the sound. The bridge collapsed.
Back up. You do the count, please.
Police yell for passerby to stand back and tell the crowds taking pictures the smoke is toxic. Fire trucks from everywhere drive in to tackle the blaze. The smoke over Buckhead, overwhelming and pitch black.
Our neighborhood. So it's, now imagine what that traffic nightmare is going to look like.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Now, police at this point, they're trying to keep anyone, any cars or any pedestrians from trying to come through this area. They even tell me that they're talking about putting up permanent barricades here because this part of Piedmont Road is going to be shut down for some time. Now, my camera lady is going to spin around to what is Piedmont Road, and this is absolutely unbelievable. Piedmont Road is one of the busiest stretches in all of Atlanta, and look at it, it's virtually empty. There's several blocks of it empty, and I drove up a little earlier to the corner of Piedmont and Lindbergh. At this hour, it is still bumper to bumper traffic. No one is moving. Police are trying to divert people to side streets, so if you can avoid this area at all possible, definitely stay away because this is going to be a nightmare for anyone on the road for some time. Reporting live here in Buckhead, Jacqueline Schultz, Fox 5 News.
All right, Jacqueline, good job. Thank you. The Atlanta police and fire departments are closely watching the developments in this situation, trying to figure out what comes next. They opened a joint operations center a little while ago.
Yeah, that's where we find Fox 5's George Franco live at APD headquarters. George?
Well, Russ and Sine, not just APD headquarters, but also headquarters of the Atlanta Fire Department. The two departments share this building behind me, top brass of the city's police and fire departments upstairs at a joint operations command center right now, quickly brought together after the portion of Interstate 85 collapsed this evening. The fire department's assistant chief told me more than 20 fire engines and trucks responded to the fire on the freeway. Unfortunately, when the bridge collapsed, no one one was in harm's way. He says fire department crews from Forest Park, Cobb County, Sandy Springs, DeKalb County also helping out. And police say their officers were quick on the scene as well, helping dozens of motorists get out of harm's way off the interstate if they could. Both agencies say the first priority was making sure no one was hurt, then taking action on an immediate traffic plan.
We have EMS units that are going to stand by on the interstate so those motorists that remain stranded until we can get the traffic cleared.
Any idea how many stranded motorists?
At this point, we don't know, but the Atlanta Police Department is working on a traffic plan to get the motorists cleared out as soon as possible.
In about a 1.5 mile, a 2-mile radius, we have the area cleared, and now what we're doing is trying to get everybody home. So we've got officers at multiple intersections working with the drivers, trying to get them through the side streets and trying to find them an avenue where they can get home without using the interstate.
And we're told the Joint Operations Center of the Fire and Police Departments expects to stay open for the next 16 hours at the least. Both entities say right now motorists all over Metro Atlanta need a large dose of patience. The City of Atlanta's government has delayed opening tomorrow, allowing employees to get to work by 10 a.m. We'll continue following the developments here with the police department and the fire department and keep you up to date. But for now, at headquarters of APD and the fire department, I'm George Franco, Fox 5 News.
All right, George, thank you so much. We want to show you a view from the ground near the fire. You can see the flames and the black smoke billowing as crews tried to get that fire under control.
And this is what so many drivers were seeing inside their cars tonight. It took officials about a half an hour to completely close the interstate, so drivers were actually driving through the black smoke when the fire was small. At first, we thought it was a car fire. As you know, this happened during the evening rush hour, and News Edge anchor Tom Haynes joins us now with a closer look at exactly where this happened and how it may affect traffic in the future.
Yeah, and Russ and Sine, when you stop to think about exactly what we're dealing with here, it's really overwhelming in terms of the transportation situation here in Atlanta. I-85 running from Richmond, Virginia to Montgomery, Alabama, going right through the city of Atlanta. I want to give you an idea of where this accident happened exactly, and it couldn't have happened in a worse place. Right here near the Northeast Expressway, near this MARTA rail yard. And this is where the interstate, I-85 and Georgia 400 all merge around the Cheshire Bridge Road area. So you have these two major pipelines flowing into the city of Atlanta, and this is the choke point right here. So the challenge for officials now is, where do we send people? How do we get them in and out of our city, both north and southbound? One idea that's been floated is using the Buford Highway connector and making both sides of the connector one direction during rush hour, flowing into the city and out of the city. Also, these secondary roads, Cheshire Bridge, Peachtree Road, Piedmont Road. And then where do you choke off traffic? Is it up at 285? Do you send people around to I-20 and around to I-75? Do you let local traffic use I-85? These are a lot of the questions that the Department of Transportation will no doubt be answering. Chairman John Eves, for his part, has come out recommending use MARTA, which will undoubtedly increase its service. The only other bit of good news here is that most schools are on spring break next week as we sort of get used to our new traffic reality. Sinan, Russ.
All right, Tom. Well, we just heard from Governor Nathan Deal. Tonight, he is declaring a state of emergency in Fulton County. Now, the fire and the bridge collapse on I-85 caused major traffic delays throughout the metro area.
Yeah, cars were rerouted away from the scene on the interstate, and officials are working on alternate routes until the roadway is repaired. And that could be, who knows, weeks, months. Fox 5's Denise Dillon joins us now live from Buckhead tonight. Denise, you talked to some drivers who'd been sitting in traffic for hours.
Yes, many for up to 3 hours. Now, we are right here at Lindbergh and Piedmont. If you take a look down there, you can see the officer in the middle of the intersection. That is where Piedmont is blocked off. We have seen numerous ambulances and fire trucks, police cars heading that way, but no one else is allowed to go down there. I want to show you some video now of what traffic has been like for the past few hours. Slow going. That really sums it up. The traffic problems really started not when the interstate collapsed, but during the fire. With flames shooting into the air and the thick black smoke, authorities started shutting down the interstate. Now, I've talked to several people who say that if they were not at a standstill, they were being turned around.
They reroute north traffic and the south traffic and south traffic and the north traffic, and I got to go all the way to DeKalb County, so I'm trying to figure out which way I'm going.
We have to take North Drew Hill. They turn us around. We came through Limbeck, and then when we get to Limbeck, the police cross again, and we have to turn around again from Limbeck. So we got here, and it's stuck again, so we don't know our way around. We have to get gas.
That man is one of those who told me that he was in traffic for 3 hours. Others told me that when they were at a complete standstill, many people were just getting out of their cars, walking around, trying to figure out what was happening because it was early on and no one really knew. Now, tomorrow's commute will be a nightmare no matter how you look at it. You got to make sure you plan your route carefully. To help you do that, make sure you tune in to Good Day Atlanta. Reporting live, Denise Dillon, Fox 5 News.
All right, Denise, well, you showed us the images. Cars were stuck bumper to bumper in Atlanta tonight. This after the fire on I-85 burned for more than an hour. Interstate traffic was stopped and turned around near the scene, which was on a bridge on I-85 northbound, just south of Georgia 400 near Piedmont Road. Drivers were redirected away from the area of the collapse, and many drivers spent hours in the car.
Oh, just sitting in traffic, trying to find a way to get through to Peachtree Street to the Piedmont Hospital.
How long you been out?
Man, at least over an hour and a half, probably 2 hours to be exact, coming from Gwinnett County.
According to GDOT, both northbound and southbound directions will be closed for the foreseeable future as the bridge is repaired. Officials say an estimated 250,000 cars drive daily through that stretch of I-85.
Well, this story is still very much developing tonight, of course. We'll continue to stay on top of it and update you throughout this newscast and on the edge. But there's another big story we need to get to. It would be our lead any other night. Severe weather in North Georgia.
Yeah, let's send it right over to Fox 5 Storm Team Chief Meteorologist David Shandley.
Yeah, Sinead Russ, we've had some potent thunderstorms roll across metro Atlanta with some wind damage in and around DeKalb and Gwinnett counties. Now, we don't have any active warnings right now, but we do have some heavy rain and gusty winds across the region showing up on Fox 5 Live Viper. In and around town right now, just to the west there of downtown Atlanta, pretty good cell. 285 and I-20, and then moderate rainfall from Roswell up through Cherokee County and 575. All that you see here moving off to the northeast at about 45 miles an hour. More rain, embedded thunderstorms, Peachtree City, Noonan, Greenville, all the way down toward LaGrange. And then a pretty robust storm is over here in Banks County, just outside of Homer up I-85 way, and then rain all the way up into the North Georgia mountains. Beneficial rain at that. We've had some small hail, and as I mentioned, some wind damage in Gwinnett County and DeKalb County, in and around Stone Mountain, Lilburn, Snellville, the Mountain Park area with some trees down. Here goes the cells moving up to the northeast. We talked about this blocking the inflow down here out of the Gulf of Mexico, and it did limit our severe thunderstorms. It certainly did with the moisture and the intensity coming out of the Gulf. Now, this is moving on through. We still have the front to come through, and you can see how that's squeezing out another line of showers and storms. But right now, they do not look strong or severe, so good news there. So let's take you forward in time, show you we've got the rain covering up the area through the next couple of hours as it moves from southwest to northeast. You can see the back edge of this round right along the state line here in the next couple of hours, and then just spotty showers and a couple thunderstorms even into the early morning hours before things start tapering off and breaking away. And by, say, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, there we go. We even start seeing some breaks in the clouds with some lingering showers. So it looks like your morning commute, it's going to be a mess, obviously, with the traffic, but at least the weather won't add any injury to that as we see clearing conditions certainly by 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. Now, here's what we anticipate is going to happen the next several hours. A few thunderstorms, and then they'll be diminishing toward the early morning hours. Temperatures, though, holding right there into the 60s. So watch this as we roll readings back down out of the 60s. We're going to kind of keep it there as the showers move on out early tomorrow morning. There's your breaks in the clouds. Overnight low right around 60. Then tomorrow we turn breezy. The sun comes back out. Not as warm as today. I don't see any 80s out there, but I do see readings back into the low and the mid 70s. And it looks like we're in store for a pretty wonderful weekend. We got new information on those temperatures, as well as the storms are going to happen through the overnight hours. Stay with us. We'll have an update in just a few minutes.
All right, David, we'll look forward to it. Thanks. Fire crews are still on the scene of that massive fire that caused an interstate overpass to give way. We are standing by as the Department of Transportation prepares to hold a news conference. An update is straight ahead tonight.
And this just in tonight, a toddler found abandoned on the side of a highway. Tonight, deputies need your help tracking down the parents of this little boy.
We are still on top of tonight's breaking news, that massive fire under the I-85 overpass near Piedmont Road during the rush hour. Moments ago, Governor Nathan Deal declared a state of emergency and ordered state agencies to delay opening until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. That fire started just before 6 o'clock tonight, and about an hour later, the structure gave way, collapsing in on itself. Meanwhile, the city of Atlanta is heavily involved, and moments ago, we heard from Atlanta Mayor Kasim Reed.
I also want to share that we've spoken to the special agent in charge for the FBI, and at this time there is no evidence that this is related to terrorism, because that's a concern.
The mayor went on to say that the City of Atlanta offices will also be delayed in their opening tomorrow. Governor Nathan Deal has issued a state of emergency, as we told you, which affects state workers and Fulton County state offices now opening at 10 o'clock.
And Deal says state officials must assess the damage and prepare for repairs to the interstate. Fox 5's Claire Sims is live at the state capitol. And Claire, the governor is asking people to really just stay away from that area.
Yeah, Governor Deal says the most important thing that you and I can do is just stay away from that collapse site, because he's concerned that people trying to go into the area could not only delay the work of the crews who are there, but could put lives in danger. Now, according to Deal, the Department of Transportation has inspectors in place to look at that bridge, and they have also contacted the company that originally built the bridge, and they are sending a crew to come in and assess the damage.
And we're trying to determine everything we can about how quick can we repair it and get it back in service. That's obviously the goal. I want to commend the firefighters and our state patrol and the local law enforcement and emergency responders, because to my knowledge, we have not had any injuries as a result of this fire on the bridge.
And that obviously the very good news tonight, and Mayor Kasim Reed re-emphasizing that just a little while ago. We'll try to get you more sound from him tonight on Fox 5 News Edge at 11. In the meantime, the governor says that the state will do everything they can to try to expedite the repairs to that bridge. And again, they're asking everyone to just stay out of the area. The state is currently working on alternate travel plans. They plan to share those with us as soon as they create them. And of course, we will pass them along to you. Reporting live at the state capitol, Claire Sims, Fox 5 News.
You can be sure that repair project will be 24 hours a day. Claire, thanks. We turn now to more breaking news. Newton County deputies say a toddler was found on the side of the road strapped into a car seat tonight.
Yeah, now they need your help figuring out who he is and where his parents are. Now, they found this little boy on the side of Highway 11 near Patrick Road in Covington right around 5:30. The toddler was taken to the hospital as a precaution, but is doing okay. If you know anything, they want you to call 911 immediately. And a Henry County woman is behind bars tonight after authorities say they found a 2-month-old baby dead.
34-year-old Kiana Dover Keys was charged with manslaughter and reckless conduct. Police say she was caring for the infant, or supposed to be. Fox 5's Natalie Pozo spoke with the babysitter's roommate, who says she tried to give the baby CPR.
She was just 2.5 months.
Barbara Wilkes describing the terrifying moments when she says she and her roommate, Kiana Dover Keys, discovered the 2-month-old baby police say was in the care of Dover Keys was in between the cushions on the couch.
Where she at, so we looked in every room. She had slid down in the couch. As soon as I noticed her being between there, I got her out, did CPR, and then continued to let the anti-CPR.
Henry County Police say someone inside the home on Spring Street called 911. Paramedics rushed the infant to Henry Piedmont Hospital, where she died. Homicide detectives hauled away several bags of evidence after charging 34-year-old Dover Keys with manslaughter and reckless conduct. This is her mugshot from a 2011 arrest. Thursday evening, neighbors who did not know the baby stopped by the house, placing this cross in the front yard.
I didn't know what to think. I did. I sure did. I've been living here 18 years, and this ain't never happened before. It stunned me.
I would be heart-stricken with my child that's 8 years old. If something happened to him, I could just imagine if a child as young as this one, that they won't be able to see the child his first birthday.
Another neighbor who also does not know the family dropping this off for the baby's mother.
Just for the mother, keepsake box. And the family would definitely be in all of our prayers.
In Henry County, Nathalie Pozo, Fox 5 News.
Well, a scare in downtown Atlanta today after hazmat was brought in to investigate reports of a man with red mercury.
Yeah, that scene has since been cleared and the substance was determined not to be red mercury. Sky Fox 5 flew over the scene on Peachtree Center Avenue today. Authorities responded to initial reports saying a man reportedly brought red mercury from Africa into one of the Peachtree Center buildings. Several surrounding streets were closed while they investigated. Homeland Security was also called in.
Well, one man is recovering tonight. Another is on the run after a road rage shooting in DeKalb County. That shooting happened on Highway 78 at Mountain Industrial Boulevard in Stone Mountain. Police tell us the victim is in his 50s and is recovering tonight at Grady in critical condition. The suspect got away in a black Nissan Altima. If you have any information that would help with the investigation, you're asked to call DeKalb County Police.
Well, police are called to a school after reports of a drunk teacher. But it's what they say they found in her purse that put this woman behind bars. Well, we are still on top of that breaking news. A massive fire under the I-85 overpass near Piedmont Road during rush hour. The fire started just before 6 o'clock, and about an hour later, the structure gave way, actually collapsing in on itself. Now, the FBI tells us this does not appear to be suspicious, but the investigation into what caused the fire is ongoing. We're monitoring the closures and the delays, so please be sure to stay with Fox 5 on air and online for any updates.
Well, a kindergarten teacher has been arrested after a loaded gun was found in her purse, and police say they smelled alcohol on her breath at school.
Now, Paulding County deputies say Shelton Elementary School employees reported that Melanie Bullard smelled of alcohol. She was given a test by the school resource officer, and it was determined that she was in no condition to teach. School officials searched her classroom. That's when they found an open container. Also, they found a loaded semi-automatic pistol in her purse. Bullard has been charged with possession of a gun on school property and reckless conduct. She's now being held without bond.
Some scary moments for a group of school kids this morning after a car slammed into the back of their bus in Fulton County. The Ridgeview Middle School bus and car both caught fire. The crash happened just before 8 o'clock this morning on Roswell Road, just north of Glen Ridge Drive. Police tell us 2 school buses were at the traffic light when the driver slammed into one of them and hit the fuel tank of the other. Officers say the students escaped with minor injuries, thankfully, but 19 of them and the driver were taken to the hospital. Scottish Rite in the case of the children. Investigators are still working to determine what caused that crash. Well, tonight, Atlanta police are investigating a gun discovered in a student's backpack at school.
Now, officers say the student found the gun in her own bag and then turned it over to her teacher, saying she didn't know how it got there. It happened this morning at Kipps Drive Primary School in Southwest Atlanta. School officials say no one was hurt. Police were called. Parents picking up their children say they're surprised this happened, but they're relieved that the girl knew to tell her teacher.
As a parent, it's very scary. As a parent, it's very scary, but I can't explain it.
I'm sure that it was an accident. Whoever put it there really didn't know, I think, that the child would bring it to school. And I'm sure if the child had known it was there, she would not have brought it to school.
Well, to the school's understanding, that gun was accidentally placed in her bag before she came to school.
Well, so many questions tonight following the massive fire on I-85. Our crews are working their sources trying to get to the bottom of the cause of that blaze, and we will have a live update for you coming up.
And our other big story, severe weather in North Georgia. Fox 5 Chief Meteorologist David Chantley has our Fox 5 Storm Team AccuWeather forecast.
And numerous reports of trees down in and around the metro area, and the rain and the thunderstorms continue. We'll monitor this line moving through the metro area as we speak. An update is straight ahead.
Busy night in the Fox 5 Storm Center.
Yeah, we had some storms out there kind of roll through. Still have some rain and thunderstorms out there. The intensity level's down below severe limits, but still gusty winds and heavy rain out there nonetheless. Take a look at Fox 5 Live Viper right now, and we can see what we're talking about now. The flashing you see out there as well out towards Hancock County. That's a severe thunderstorm warning out towards Sparta. The rest of us here, just some moderate rainfall. Fairburn, Jonesboro, some pretty good rain right around the airport right now, up through College Park, right into downtown, and moving off to the northeast at about 35, 40 miles an hour. It kind of tapers off a little bit in North Fulton County. We're still looking at some showers in Noonan, north of Greenville, south of Peachtree City. You can see the back edge of this over towards Heard County and Troup County, though, as it begins to wind down there. Rainfall, Jasper, Dawsonville, maybe a rumble of thunder towards Blue Ridge, but no severe storms. The strongest storm just outside of Toccoa now, making its way into South Carolina. So we talked about the one batch now in the Gulf of Mexico here, robbing us of a bunch of energy, and it looks like that's happened. So these storms weren't nearly as intense. We had the severe storm over in parts of DeKalb and Gwinnett and Rockdale early on. And then we're looking at this line here. This is the actual front, but see, man, it doesn't have a whole lot to work off of, does it? Just a little sliver of rain right now. So the severe threat overnight greatly diminished right now. Certainly great news. Look at the storm reports we have, and this is going to be added up and get you bearings. This is DeKalb County. This is Gwinnett County. So between Redan, Mountain Park, Lilburn, Snellville, just south of Lawrenceville, numerous reports of wind damage like this over there towards Shiloh Farms with some trees down, lines blocking the intersection there. Also some more in around Cedar Creek in Gwinnett, a tree blown over onto a house, and then down in DeKalb County, we've got some trees being snapped in half near Redan over there near Shadow Rock Drive and Shadow Rock Lane. So I'm sure we'll get some more reports as the evening and morning go on. Currently, we're looking at a mostly cloudy sky with a shower and thunder shower nearby. 71 is where we stand now. 81 was the high this afternoon. We talked about the dew point, fairly dry early on with down into the 40s. We've risen back up into the 50s right now, but to really have a volatile situation, a lot of times we need dew points up above about 60 degrees, and we didn't have that here this afternoon and this evening. Currently, we've kind of cooled on the back edge of the showers, Canton, Rome, Carrollton in the mid-60s there, and I think all of us are going to fall down into the low to mid-60s by the time we get there early tomorrow morning. And the showers will be ending, 50s to the north, low 60s down here on the south side. Then things just kind of clear on out through your Friday afternoon, looking pretty decent, low to mid 70s, not as warm as today, but certainly above the average. So watch this now. We put it into motion. There goes the batch one, and here comes the front. Very little to work off of. Notice behind the front, a clearing trend. It will be breezy on your Friday with pretty good west wind, 10 to 20 miles an hour, but loads and loads of sunshine. Then we're going to take those temperatures in the 70s, roll them back down through the 60s and on into the 50s come early Saturday morning. So kind of cool, but not bad. 40s to the north. Saturday, day chock full of sunshine, and we'll find highs stretching back up into the low and the mid 70s. Now Sunday, I think it's going to be even warmer with a high up and near 80. But we'll see clouds increase late on Sunday, and then we'll set the stage for another storm system coming our way the first of next week. We'll stop the clock here early Monday morning. We start seeing some rain. I know that's a few days away, but I want to show you this is going to be a big rainmaker for us right on through Monday afternoon and Monday evening, something we could really, really use. Here's your Fox 5 Storm Team AccuWeather forecast the way I see it right now. AM showers and clearing. That's tomorrow. Sunny and warm on Saturday. Mostly sunny and near 80 right there on Sunday. As we make our way into next week, there's your rain and thunderstorms likely on Monday, back into the mid-70s. Another chance of showers and storms in here Wednesday and Thursday. So right now, your weekend full of sunshine and pretty warm temps. We still have rain and thunderstorms to go through tonight. We're going to keep you updated right on through the 11 o'clock hour.
We know you will, David. Thanks. We are on top of that developing situation in Midtown. We just got new video of the massive fire and overpass collapse on I-85. Jacqueline?
And rain is coming down right now here in Buckhead, but the work is just beginning for fire investigators on the scene here of the I-85 bridge collapse. A live report from the scene right here coming up.
Coming to sports, our boys of summer getting acquainted with the new park.
Woo, the ball's blowing today.
We'll also have John Schuerholz comparing this team to one of our all-time favorites. Also, a Falcon calls it a career. All that and Georgia Tech goes for Madison Square Garden glory tonight on Fox 5 Sports.
Well, it was and still is an unbelievable scene. We were all speechless in the newsroom watching Sky Fox 5 as the overpass collapsed. But imagine the scene on the ground there.
Yeah, Fox 5's Jacqueline Schultz was there. And Jacqueline, you actually heard a rumble before that overpass gave way.
Yeah, where I'm standing right now, guys, I'm about a block and a half from the I-85 bridge, but we were actually even closer a little while ago before police pushed us back. I was even a block up more, and we heard what sounded like a transformer exploding. We thought maybe it was a transformer, the fire, maybe a car, but then if you take a look at this video, then we all realized after a little while that it was the bridge collapsing. Now, this video I was able to take before police pushed me back, and they asked people to go back, to go to the intersection because they said the smoke was toxic. Now, I was actually driving in on Piedmont Road, and the smoke was overwhelming. You could smell it for miles. You could see the smoke for miles, and traffic was so backed up on Piedmont that emergency crews had to navigate in and around the traffic to be able to get to the fire, to fight the fire. Now, I'm going to step aside right now so my photographer can zoom in on fire crews right now who are investigating the bridge collapse. Police tell me that they're going to shut this down indefinitely so fire crews can take a look at what exactly happened and what exactly caused the bridge to collapse. And they also tell me that there's going to be permanent barricades here, so no one is going to be driving through this stretch of Piedmont Road for a very long time, guys. Back to you.
All right. Thanks so much, Jacqueline. Well, it was a busy final day at the state capitol, and the clock is ticking down. Lawmakers still have a number of pieces of legislation to vote on.
Yeah, one of the most controversial pieces of legislation is a bill to allow guns on college campuses. Right now, that's still in limbo at this 11th hour. The bill would allow anyone over 21 who's a licensed gun owner to carry firearms onto public college and technical schools. Both chambers agree that student housing, athletic facilities, and preschool should be exempt. But the House is opposed to the Senate's exemption at some technical colleges where high school students are taking courses. Another big issue for a vote in the college campus sexual assault bill. Members of the House resurrected the bill earlier this week by inserting the language into Senate Bill 71. The legislation would change the way colleges must deal with sexual assault cases, and some disagree with its mandatory reporting requirement. The first measure that passed today was the marijuana expansion bill. It adds 6 new conditions to the list of those that qualify for the state's medical cannabis registry program. This includes autism, Alzheimer's, and AIDS, as well as patients in hospice care. It now heads to the governor's desk. Well, they also passed legislation approving self-driving cars, and that is also awaiting the governor's signature.
Meanwhile, North Carolina's governor has signed a new law rolling back the state's controversial transgender bathroom rules. But tonight, very few people are happy about the change. The transgender rights community says the new measure still denies them protection from discrimination. Meanwhile, conservatives condemn the compromise, saying the current law should have been left in place. Well, the law now puts state lawmakers in charge of public bathroom policy, not local officials or schools. It also bans cities from creating new non-discrimination laws until the year 2020.
Well, police say they were running an online business selling all sorts of drugs. The major takedown that landed 2 local brothers behind bars.
Escorting the Gators. Same day delivery.
Shopping furniture or mattress? Someone ordered a Gator.
Oh, he's going to clearance.
Unbelievable. An unusual customer creeps into a Florida furniture store. Now, according to employees, an alligator was spotted in the parking lot of the store.
Now, in order to get the gator out and back to the pond, deputies had to drag it through the store and out the back door. Check out this video. Deputies leading the unwilling gator on a leash through aisles of furniture to the back. Meanwhile, several store employees are cracking jokes about the gator shopping for mattresses and being interested in the clearance section. Get out of here.
Well, disappointing news from Madison Square Garden tonight in New York City. Georgia Tech's men's basketball team ended their season with an 88-56 loss to TCU in the NIT championship game. The Horned Frogs started the game on a 16-1 run, and it was a struggle from the start. And the rest of the Magic just wore off tonight, folks. Tech was playing catch-up all night. Quentin Stevens' three here cut the TCU lead down to 8 in the second half, but it just wasn't happening tonight. TCU runs away with it, 88-56 final. They actually finished the game on a 28-7 run. Nice season for the Jackets. Nonetheless, they need to hold their heads up high. Braves held their first workout at the new SunTrust Park today. Nothing special about the workout itself, except that it was the first in the first stadium here that was built only for baseball. And the new place certainly looked the part. Of course, if you want to learn how to stretch, this is how Big Sexy Bartolo Colon does it. That's how he keeps that beautiful body tone and limber. One of the things to keep an eye on right there is the budding on-field relationship in the middle infielders, Dansby Swanson and Brandon Phillips, otherwise known as #Bransby. To efficiently turn double plays, you have to know each other's needs.
It's pretty easy. I mean, the first day he was like, normally I'm gonna, hang out right here, and if you can get here, that'd be great. But you just throw it and I'll catch it. And I kind of told him the same thing. We both have our preferences.
On defense, I want to be as slow as possible. But when I'm hit, I want to be real fast. So, as long as I'm in a great position to catch the ball and it's smooth, it doesn't really bother me how fast it really is.
It's almost like playing, pickup basketball. Just when you are able to have that chemistry with someone, where if you pass it here, I'm cutting here, and it's kind of like that playing. Short and second with him. He makes it easy on me, and I try and make it as easy on him as possible.
Freddie, anything you noticed right off the bat? I know you've hit one over the center field wall.
The first thing I noticed is a 375, beautiful marking out there. So, usually looking out there and seeing 390 at Turner Field, it's definitely a welcoming sight to the 375. So, today the ball played as a hitter's park today. Obviously with the wind, I've heard the wind has been blowing pretty much every time we've been in here. So I think the true test will be tomorrow night and see how it plays at nighttime.
And we'll be there. Back next hour with more interesting stuff from the Braves, NIT Championship, and a Falcon says goodbye to brothership. We'll see you on the edge. Russ?
All right, K-Rod, thanks. A Georgia fugitive is behind bars tonight. No sign of the teenager police believe he was traveling with. We'll have an update coming up.
Plus, Chief Meteorologist David Shanley tracking storms.
Yes, and thunder rumbles across metro Atlanta and North Georgia right now. We'll talk about what's ahead the rest of the evening and into your Friday at 11.
Well, the list of drugs is long and dangerous. LSD, bath salts, Molly, Valium, and the highly addictive and often deadly painkiller fentanyl.
Forsyth County deputies say that's just a portion of what they found inside a home in Cumming. Tonight, two brothers are behind bars. They're accused of running an online illegal drug business. 20-year-old Charles Barong and 25-year-old Zachary Barong face numerous felony charges tonight. The two were arrested after a multi-agency investigation involving the Sheriff's Office, the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, and Homeland Security.
Atlanta police say a Starbucks employee saved the life of a customer who overdosed this afternoon. Emergency crews were called to the coffee shop in Little Five Points after a man was found unconscious in the bathroom. Now, by the time police arrived, an employee had already used the life-saving drug Narcan on that man. Narcan is an emergency treatment that instantly reverses an opioid drug overdose.
Well, the search for a fugitive on the run in Pickens County is now over. Sheriff's deputies tell us that Nicholas Bishop was taken into custody today. He was wanted in connection to multiple burglaries and a car theft in the area. Now, police say he also pointed a pistol at a homeowner who walked in on him after he broke into his house. Officers believe Bishop's 16-year-old biological daughter, Kirsten, was staying with him. Officials tell us she wasn't there when he was arrested, but tonight they are still looking for her.
Breaking news in Pennsylvania tonight, where a missing judge has been found alive. Where he was found days after his disappearance. Next. New information tonight about the bus crash that killed 13 people in Texas.
Now, officers say they received several phone calls about an erratic driver in a white pickup truck just before the crash. Now, the church group was coming home from a 3-day retreat when the bus was hit head-on by the truck west of San Antonio. The Department of Public Safety says the victims were between 61 and 87 years old. And breaking news in Pennsylvania, a massive search for a 91-year-old judge is over.
Yeah, police say Judge Edwin Cosick was found alive just a short time ago. Surveillance video showed the judge walking to a Scranton store. He turned around to leave when he realized it was closed and went the opposite direction. Police say the judge was found about 100 yards from his car in a wooded area outside Scranton. We're told 2 boys spotted his abandoned car, then saw the judge's ID in the vehicle and called police. A search dog eventually found the judge lying on his back. Judge Cosick takes medication for memory loss and stopped hearing last month. Despite reports of seeing a missing teen and teenager, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation says the 2 have not been found.
Yeah, agents say a reported sighting of Elizabeth Thomas and Tad Cummins in Collierville turned out to be false. The 15-year-old disappeared March 13th. Police believe she was abducted by the 50-year-old in an attempt to sexually exploit her.